Well, good morning, YouTube. All right, guys, it is Saturday morning, and today we're going to pull out of Campers Inn, and we are going to head to Texas. We're not going to make it all the way to Texas. We're only trying to get into Louisiana somewhere. Realistically, from here to Galveston is just a one-day drive. It's a fairly long day, but not a super long day. I've done it before where I've left here around 6:30, and I've been pulling onto the island as the sun is setting, but we're not going to try to do that. We're only going to go about halfway just because we don't really need to be there until Sunday afternoon. So it's Saturday morning now. If I get 5 or 6 hours in today, a couple hours tomorrow morning, I should get there right on time, assuming everything goes well. You see I got my air pressure gauge in my hand. I'm going to run around and do a pre-trip on Goliath. I've got the trailer out there pretty much ready to go other than loading the car and the motorcycle in it. But after doing my pre-trip, got to dump the tanks, unhook the water line, unhook the power, and we get this beast moved out front, hooked back to the trailer. Well, 9 out of the 10 tires on Goliath are in pretty good shape. There's one that's only got about 70 pounds in it, so once I get it fired up, I'll make sure to put some air in that tire. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pop the hood, check the oil and everything else there. Belts, steering linkages, springs, so on and so forth. Well, all in all, everything under the hood is looking pretty good. Never mind. I'm a little bit low on coolant, but not in a dangerous manner. So I think it'll ride till we get to Galveston and I can top it off. I do have coolant for it, but unfortunately it's packed in with all the other inventory. I didn't realize that I did not have one up here for service use. I just have what's in our inventory for sale. Like I said, we're not dangerously low, we're fine. Oil is looking good, all the belts are looking good. Springs, steering, shocks, all that appears looking pretty good. So I don't see any reason why we can't start this up and roll with it. All right, and the hub oil is looking pretty good as well. Now, I don't crawl underneath there and check the differential fluids or the transmission fluids on every pre-trip. I do it periodically, but what I do, however, what I do instead is I constantly monitor whether there's any signs of leaks or any puddles underneath the truck. So in theory, if there's no oil blowing back on the back of the truck from the axles, there's no puddles underneath it, or the transmission for that matter, it's reasonably safe to assume that there's still plenty of fluid in it. Now, like I said, I do check it multiple times throughout the year, and I do the full service on it at the beginning of the year. So it's not like I just neglect it. I just don't check it every single time. All right, so now I'm walking out to the trailer. I'm gonna go ahead and pre-trip it, make sure that all the hub oil is good here, all the air pressures are good, and do a lighting check on it, so on and so forth. That way I know that once I pull Goliath out here and hook it up, everything's good. The reason I'm doing it before I get Goliath out here is because where we're parked and where I have to hook Goliath up to, got this flower bed, and the Goliath is gonna go all the way out to the driveway. So I don't want to sit here hooked up and do the full check because I'd be blocking the driveway to the RV park. So I'm just trying to be considerate. So I'm pre-tripping them as 2 separate units rather than 1 big unit. And all in all, it all works out the same. Well, looks like I got 1 tire on the trailer also that needs a little bit of air. It's not down bad. It's still got 80 pounds in it, but I like to run them closer to 100. And I've got 1 hub that's a little bit low on oil. I've noticed it started to begin a leak on the inner wheel seal. It's not bad. It'll get us to Texas and home without a problem, but it's something I'm definitely going to want to repair before we start the next season in March. So I'm going to go ahead and top it off. Been monitoring it for a couple of months now, and it hasn't gotten any worse, but I do have to top it off about every 2 trips. Just a couple ounces, not losing a lot. So that's also one that, because I know it's leaking, every time we stop for fuel, every time we stop for the bathroom, I always check it to make sure that there's oil in it. All right, guys, so everything is hooked up and ready to go. I'm gonna back the trailer up just a little bit because I'm really close to this wall, and to get my angle out of here, I'm gonna need to. So you can see there in the mirror, really close to that planter box, only a couple inches away. And if I make the left turn right now in order to clear the building and that white truck, my trailer will surely hit. So I'm gonna back it up a little bit, get a better angle so I can bring the nose further over this way, and then swing her through and go right through that hole towards the road. Waiting for the traffic to clear. Get this bike out of the way. All right, that got me where I needed to be. stopped here at a pilot about 13 miles from the Mississippi border. I wasn't planning on stopping until I got into Mississippi. But as we were coming out of Mobile there, right around where 65 splits off to go up to Montgomery, I heard something fall off of Goliath. And I don't know what. It was light and tinny, like it was a clamp or something. So we decided to go ahead and stop here so I can inspect it and see. So I'm gonna look around and see if we can find something missing. You know, I heard it like fall, hit a couple things, and then ting ting on its way out. I checked the mirrors immediately. I did not see anything come out from underneath it. So I'm a little puzzled, but let me put the phone down for a moment. I'm gonna take a look and see if I can't figure it out. Well, just my luck. It's starting to rain on us now. You know, I gotta say too, Goliath sounds different. It sounds quieter. It's always kind of noisy, and it's still noisy. You hear that gear drive, but on the sides, it sounds quieter. You know, you guys probably can't tell. It's actually a lot quieter over here. The air compressor is much quieter than it used to be. Much quieter. Now, before we pulled off, I did check gauges. There's no issues with air pressure. There's no issues with oil. There's no issues with coolant. All the gauges look good. Let me go check again. Well, as you guys can see, there's plenty of air pressure in the gauges. I'm gonna shut it off. I'm going here and listen to see if I hear anything leaking or whatnot. All right, guys, so I can't find anything missing. So the compressor's running a lot quieter, and I always thought it was a little bit on the noisy side compared to other Detroits that I had heard, and I assumed it was the air compressor. Now, the best I can tell, because that air compressor has a large oval-shaped head on it, I believe it's 2 pistons in there. So I'm wondering if maybe there was a clearance on one of the rods on one of those pistons, and maybe it has let go, and everything's kind of cleared out of the way because it's running nice and quiet, but it's still building air pressure. Now, the truck's been off for about 15 minutes and the air pressure is dropping. So I'm gonna start it back up and make sure that it rebuilds air pressure. And as long as it does, we will continue on our way because there isn't a place here to do any service work or get the parts. So, I don't know, I'm just gonna cross our fingers, hope that it works. So it looks like it's building air pressure just fine. However, it does seem like it's building air pressure a little slower than what it used to. So that would go along with my theory of maybe one of the pistons is no longer working in there. But hopefully it'll get us where we need to go because I can't fix it here. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that gauge. And if I start losing air pressure, we'll have to find a place to pull off because without air pressure, we have no brakes. So definitely gonna keep an eye on it. Guys, while we were stopped, I also checked the load, checked all the tires, checked that wheel. It was leaking a little bit of oil. It's all good. I also cleaned the windshield. Not that it matters because now it's raining, but all good. sooner did we get out of the heavy rain, traffic came to a stop. Katie's checking the driving app, and it looks like there's an accident up ahead. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but now we're starting to get an audible sound. Still get good air pressure, but there's it's almost like the sound of a belt squeaking or small amounts of air escaping, and it does change with engine RPM. So I think there's another pilot right up the way. May stop and double check it again, see what it is. Well, guys, and to make things even better, we just got a severe weather warning. I guess we are in a tornado watch area, or tornado warning. Yeah, warning, which means one has been sighted. It says to take shelter in a low-lying area. Well, we can't exactly right now, so keeping our eyes open. So now we are completely stopped. The sun's coming out and the rain is starting up again. Pulling from the big rig and hit the brakes. So we stopped at a TA in Hammond, Louisiana. It's about 7:30 at night or so right now. We stopped to get fuel, and we were hoping that there'd be room here for us to stay. I don't know that there is. It looks pretty busy. So now that we fueled up, we're gonna take a drive around, and if we can't find a spot, we'll probably just keep going. I'm feeling pretty good. I got no problem with driving a little bit further today. But if we don't find a spot here, it's gonna be hard to find a spot anywhere at this point. So we're just gonna keep going if we don't find a spot, but let's get out of here. Like a glove. All right, guys, no, I did not bend that pole. This is where I stopped. I backed in once, realized I had about 8 more feet to go. Set a marker on the truck next to me, went back about 8 feet, and that's where I stopped. So we found a spot, obviously, but I can tell you what, this TA here in Hammond, the worst parking lot I've ever driven through. I'm telling you, just the whole thing, just all the way through the parking lot. First gear, basically just letting it idle. It was terrible, but this is where we're gonna stop for the night. I picked that spot because I was able to back it in a little extra far. That way I'm not sticking out too much further than the next truck. With the angled spots, things are pretty good. Hopefully whoever parks here will have plenty of room to get out around me if they need to. Shouldn't be a problem with as big as this parking lot is. All right, went ahead and shut it all down, dumped the air out of it. This is where we're staying for the night. Right now, we're only about 5 or 5.5 hours, according to maps, away from Galvaston. So the plan is to get up early in the morning. Keep in mind, it's only about 20 till 8 right now. I'm not tired, so I'm not going to bed just yet, but I'm going to try to get to bed at a reasonable time and get up early in the morning, maybe be on the road around 6:30 or so. That way it still puts us out there in Galveston just shortly after noon, 1 o'clock. Now that all depends on the ferry, because we do take the ferry, and sometimes you gotta sit there and wait for the ferry for an hour or an hour and a half. All depends. But tomorrow is a Sunday. Traffic should be good going through Baton Rouge and Lake Charles, even Lafayette. It also shouldn't be too bad at the ferry, but who knows? Weirder things can happen. But again, we're not in a hurry. As long as we're there by tomorrow is good. We just can't pull in before 1 o'clock if we want to park in our parking spot. So that's it. Guys, I was going to split this up and do the whole trip, but with the extra wasted time between us leaving a little bit late and then hearing the weird noise and trying to track it down, and then the traffic put us a couple hours behind, and it added a little bit more footage that I wasn't expecting. So I think we're going to close this one, and tomorrow will be a whole new video. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're almost at that 10,000. We're like 510 away or something like that. So let's try to get there really quick. All right, guys. See you in the morning. Until next time we see you, keep those engines running.